Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be putting the other hatch onto the Durango. So the one reason I got this hatch from that salvage yard was because it had a back glass, and the other hatch, the glass was broken. But I knew that car that this hatch came off of was hit really hard in the front. I never looked at the passenger side. So yesterday I went to measure some stuff on it, looked at the passenger side. It looks like it was hit as hard as mine was hit on the driver's side, but on the passenger side. So that could give a pretty good reason why this hatch is actually not lining up with a quarter. It just sticks up a little bit. And then I remember this mount on the hatch on this side, on the passenger side, was actually bent. And then I looked at the car, it looked like it was kind of pushed up. So hopefully that's the issue. I also got some welding blankets from the store, so I'll be able to cover the whole front of the car up with a welding blanket. And I'm also gonna move, there's a door over there with a door glass. You know, I remember the Charger with welding and glass, it just destroys them. These glasses on these two doors are bad, so it really doesn't matter. But yeah, we could cover up the whole front of the car with one, and then there's an AC/heater box in the rear. I'll cover all that and the wiring up so we don't get any hot metal getting into the plastic or anything like that. The other hatch is now on the Durango, and I think this hatch was a lot of my issues. So I was having this issue when I was pulling the upper rail, the old structure of the upper rail over, and I did get the striker to line up perfectly once, but I was having the same issue with the black hatch. This edge of the hatch was sticking up about a 1/4 inch over the quarter panel. You can see how this one's nice and flush. It's perfect. You can see the line is perfect there too. And I think what happened, since that car or that Durango was hit on this side, about the same as this one was hit on the driver's side. And I think this hatch is just tweaked out a little bit on that corner, causing it not to line up. So I'm really happy that I went and grabbed another hatch. What I'm gonna do now is, since everything lines up perfectly now, I'm going to throw some sheet metal screws in there. Really thinking about changing the color of this car, but I don't know, I'm torn. I really like the Battleship Gray, but I know a lot of people were saying you could just wrap it a different color if you wanted to. I could do that, but you know, I was looking into maybe the same color as my Hellcat, the Octane Red, but I saw Toro Red, and that's a really cool red. And I saw it on a Durango Hellcat, and it looks really good. But I was also thinking I wanted a red that shifted a little bit more. And Lexus, the I think it's the RCF red, it is a pink base coat, and then it's red mid coat, and it shifts crazy. So you can see all the body lines. And then I was also talking to a company about a wide body kit for this thing, but I don't know. They look like they're very high quality wide body kits, but they're all 3M adhesive on, which I just kind of, I don't know. I just really don't want a 3M body kit on my car. So Dodge dealership just dropped off the driver's side headlight, and I ordered this probably 2 months ago. So these were on a back order. They're very expensive, but the really good thing is it came really quick. I mean, it was on a back order, but a bunch of stuff is right now. So like I said before, I'll put the link in the description for the Dodge dealership I'm working with in Colorado, because they do have very cheap prices on this stuff. And I mean, it's really nice when you get stuff and it is undamaged. These headlights are pretty much specific to the Hellcats, because on all the other ones, they have like this little dimpling towards the edge right there. So now that I have both headlights, I'll throw this one on really quick. And I don't have both headlights in the front, but yeah, I'm gonna get back to working on the rear. I need to get some stuff done up there. I wanna maybe fine tune the hatch a little bit more. It lines up, but it's just a little bit over to the passenger side, which if I'm gonna do something right, I'm gonna do it. So let's get to work on that. We have 2 headlights in the Durango. She is looking good. All the lines are even on the hood. The one thing is that latch was kind of bent, so I'll probably order a new latch, and I probably should readjust it because I adjusted it. Actually, I put it on that other support, so it is probably a little bit high, but all our gaps are even. They're just a little bit too far up, so I'll just pull that hood down, which will be really nice. But yeah, I'm very happy that I have both headlights in here now. I mean, it was a long time coming, and that's pretty much why this project, well, that's not everything. That's not the entire reason, but it's just really hard to source parts right now. I guess that's why I waited so long on the roof. Have the hatch section held on with some vice grips, and it lines up perfectly now. So I went to the dealership to make sure that I was 100% good to go, and mine lines up a lot better than the brand new ones. So this is nice and round. It doesn't have a lip on it. The one at the dealership, actually, this side of the hatch was sticking up a little bit. And also, as you can see, she lines up perfectly with the striker. And also over here, she lines up perfectly with the existing paint line from the old quarter panel. So what I ended up doing was I finagled with this a little bit to get this pushed over a little bit more, so it lined up perfectly with the striker. The ones at the dealership, when you close the hatch, it hit the striker, and then you notice that it just moved over to the driver's side just a hair. And I didn't like that, and I didn't want that with this Durango. Plus, it would have been perfectly fine, but you know, I wanted this thing to be a little bit better than factory. So I'm going to probably move this panel. You can see the paint line. I'm probably just gonna release this clamp and move it forward just a hair. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to run sheet metal screws and everything, and then I can start tacking stuff in place after I verify that it still closes like it does now. But once that's done, we're tacked in, we can start putting the core panels on. I'm very excited because I want to see this thing back together, and I need to get some expanding foam and a bunch of other stuff so we can get that core panel back on both sides. Everything lined up in the rear of the Durango. I really want to mess with the hatch just a little bit. It's very close, but everybody knows how I am, and I'm very picky with how my body lines are and how stuff opens and closes. But what I'm going to do now is run up to Denver because I need to get something for the roof, and it was in the thumbnail, so everybody knows it's a panoramic sunroof. So I'm going to do the first panoramic sunroof on a Durango. So what I need to do, if you guys remember, I saved that non-sunroof headliner. I'm gonna be mating that with a Grand Cherokee headliner as well. I have all of the hardware from this headliner. So this is the Durango Hellcat headliner, which is Alcantara. I'll probably just end up selling this headliner. It does have a few, you know, back here, there's some creases, and I think they'll probably go away if I add some steam. So I got a steamer for when I do the Alcantara headliner, because if you guys remember, I tried to pay a place a long time ago to do an Alcantara headliner and they just botched it really bad. So I'll probably just end up covering my own headliner. I have some Alcantara fabric up there, and then I need to put in the big Jeep Grand Cherokee panoramic sunroof part of the headliner. I might even do a bunch of other stuff. So since this is an SUV and it has 3 rows, there's not really any reason not to have a sunroof in it, and especially a panoramic sunroof. I don't know why Dodge hasn't put panoramics in here. I really wanted to do the new Grand Wagoneer. Has a full glass roof, and if I could get that full glass roof, they haven't started releasing those cars yet, so they don't have parts for them yet. I would do this whole thing in a glass roof. The only downside to that, it's kind of like a Tesla roof. It doesn't actually open, but it does look very, very cool. So let's head up to Denver, go grab this panoramic sunroof, go grab the headliner, and then in a few days I will grab the panoramic roof skin from another yard, because I need to get a Charger subframe from that same yard, and that's in Springs. This is up in Denver, so let's head up there and get this thing. Then when we get back, should just bolt right in, because what I'm thinking is the front windshield is the same as a Grand Cherokee. That means the roof skin in the front, it's just longer, so it should be exactly the same as a Grand Cherokee. So that means all the mounting points should be the same. I know how a lot of people have been wanting me to put a panoramic sunroof in the Charger, but since the Durango is 3 rows, and you know, we have plenty of weight in it already, I got a panoramic roof from a Grand Cherokee, so it has to be 2014 up, and this is a 2016, but I got the headliner so I could splice them together, because obviously the Durango one is longer, but you need this piece right here that it has like Velcro, and it clips into the top of the roof skin. So we should be able to get this whole thing to bolt in. I think all of this headliner will be the same. It looks all the same from here forward, or here back to about that back spot, and then there is those controls and everything in the back that I'll have to make fit, but I don't think it'll be too difficult. So what I'm going to do now is head home, and I was thinking about grabbing the roof skin today, but I'll probably grab it tomorrow, because I don't want to be putting a roof skin on top of this already, because this is actually pretty heavy and I don't want to break anything. So let's head back home, or back to the junkyard, throw that stuff on. Just got back to the junkyard, threw the panoramic roof on top of the non-sunroof roof skin, and the reason I did that was to see how far it is going to go back. So I think it comes forward just a hair more, but it's going to be very big. I mean, it's going to definitely be big enough to be over the driver and the rear passengers, but you know, there isn't going to be anything back here. The great thing about this is it's going to make less sheet metal on the roof skin, and pretty much I should be able to graft the other roof skin into this roof skin without having issues, and I should be able to use the previous the drains. Where are they at? So there's one drain right there, so I'll just have to shorten them a little bit, and then it'll just come back. It looks like, depending on how far back it comes or how far forward it's supposed to go. I guess I have the headliner, we could look at that. So unfortunately, when they pulled the headliner, they didn't pull it very nice. So it has a bunch of creases in it, which I might be able to get out. We'll see what happens with that. But another good thing with the headliner is I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to utilize those passenger lights, but it has the ones right here, which is really nice. I'm gonna have to figure out where I'm gonna put the temperature controls at, because I won't be able to have them right there in the center of the window anymore. But yeah, it looks like it comes forward a little bit more. So probably it will come a little bit further forward than this. I wish I had the other roof skin so I could kind of tell. So it'll probably come a little bit further forward, and then it shouldn't be any further into any of that stuff, which will be good. I'll probably have to pull out this beam right here. I'm guessing that'll have to come out, because this will mount it should utilize most of these bolt holes. So it should use this one, the ones up front. It won't use all 4 of them up front, but it should use at least 2 of them. And yeah, we'll see. Since Durangos never came with panoramic sunroofs, it'll be, actually, yeah, that definitely needs to come quite a bit further forward. But since Durangos never actually came with panoramic sunroofs ever, this will be pretty interesting. And I think it'll be pretty cool. So I usually don't like sunroofs and panoramic sunroofs because they are heavy, but this is an SUV. It has 3 rows. It just makes sense to add that extra comfort to it, because then I'll be able to open it. It has a black shade. So a lot of the panoramic roofs that I found had like a tan shade, which wouldn't have worked, because if you buy the shade separate, it is, I think, like $600. So I got this panoramic roof. It's out of a 2016 for 300 bucks. And then the headliner was an extra 180, but they kind of dinked it a little bit. So that was unfortunate. So then I don't have to ruin my Alcantara one, so I'll probably sell this one. It also has a few little creases in it from when the airbags went off. You can see one right there and one right there, and you can still kind of feel it. I'm wondering if I put some steam into it, if it'll get rid of those little creases. But other than that, the other headliner still has these. I think I don't know if they actually go all the way in there. That is one thing I was actually kind of worried about. So those vents, I'll still have all 4 vents, no problem there. You can see how much larger the headliner is. That's why I got it. And the only real difference is this back piece. It just starts a little bit sooner. So I think what I'll do is I'll probably splice them in around here, or maybe like right on that edge. And then I could just add the Durango headliner to that headliner, and then hopefully I could steam out those creases and figure out how I'm going to connect all that stuff and then recover it in Alcantara. But I'm really happy that I have that headliner, that I have the panoramic sunroof, especially finding one cheap, because usually they're like $600+ plus shipping. But yeah, let's pretty much end the episode here. Next episode, I'll pull that other roof skin, get the roof skin off, get this panoramic roof bolted in there, and start splicing all the skins together and just kind of go from there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bolt the panoramic sunroof in with the other roof skin on there. Then I'll probably lay this roof skin over it or something, and then I'll figure out where I'm going to cut it, splice them together, and then I can start getting them ready for body work. And I still need to get the both side quarter panels. I'll do that also in the next episode. But if you like these videos, make sure to click that subscribe button, throw a thumbs up, throw a comment below. As always, see you guys next time.